Welcome to It's All for the Kids. This morning we got Jack Deanna from the great state of Pennsylvania. How you doing, Jack?
I'm doing well, Steve. How are you?
I'm doing well. Hey, you know what? We both survived St. Louis. Got in there and
That's
got out.
that's for sure.
And the weather was nice. It was like in the 80s. So, it was a lot better than that one time we took that trip and it was in the teens.
Honest to God, yeah. I'll tell you what. I want to thank you for the golf outing. I've heard nothing but great things about it from our members, and I know we did a lot of good for the Children's Hospital. So thanks a lot, Steve. But I'm gonna put you on a spot. We're gonna be in the
Okay.
same spot next year in September, and I wanna twist your arm to run another golf outing for us.
Hey, not a problem, baby. We're in. We're in. Not a problem. We can do that. I love the casino spot right there in St. Charles, Missouri. If anybody hasn't gone there, they got a great downtown, old town, with great restaurants, barbecue. Even Starbucks has a location down there in
Yeah,
Old Town.
yeah.
So you can
I
get your
was
coffee.
I was surprised. I was surprised that first of all, Ameristar was outstanding. It's an outstanding venue. We had about 425 people there. About a third of them were new. Okay, which is what we're seeing all over the country. People finally recognizing that using geothermal heat pumps, using the energy under your feet is it makes sense. You and I've been in this for oh God,
Don't go there. Don't go
decades.
there, Jack. You'll
No, I
date people
won't.
how
No,
old you and I are.
no,
Okay.
no, I won't. But it's super. It was super. But once again, uh, when you start off positively, like we did with the golf outing, and then move forward, we had great seminars. We had new people. We had some really interesting companies. We've got what's happening in our industry, Steve. That that wasn't there when you and I first started this. We now have third party ownership, and we've got companies like Upstream Leasing that's working with Dandelion and doing developments, which means we take all the expense out of this technology, and then we got the investment tax credit, and guys like Walker Blue are in there to help people get some money back. So I just talked to a school that's getting about $4 million back on their geothermal system, which is which is outstanding.
That's really great, because, that's what everybody's trying to figure out. Remember, I know I'm not going to date us, but way back in the beginning, way back when Dr. Bowles and Dr. Turner were around with all his GAs and everything, we talked about putting a single well field in and then diversifying it out to, you know, a development, housing, commercial. And, like Prince George's County in Maryland is looking at possibly putting a well field in, maybe one or two, because of location and sizing, and then run it to other government buildings that are all in a you know
Yeah,
consigned area.
yeah. Now they're calling it the thermal energy network, and that works as long as we have diversity. And with that type of project you just described, you're going to have diversity because you've got government buildings, you've got schools, you've got houses, and they're all diverse and they work with one another. Once again, we have the training at IGPA, International Ground Source Heat Pump Association, which I happen to be the chairman of the board. So I want to be very, very transparent about that. This is a
Hey, well,
paid
that's cool. Hey,
political announcement.
congratulations! I didn't know you were the chairman of the board there, buddy.
Yes, yes. It's it. We've both been in IGPA for God 40 years, and what we're seeing now is a whole resurgence of this technology. But once again, I guess the senior people in this industry are able to guide the newer people in so that they don't make the same mistakes we did. But I'll tell you what, we've got great leadership in
Yeah,
Jeff Hammond for IGPA and Ryan Doherty for Geo. And like I said, we've got it's this is going to be like the old days when people really got excited about this, but now we have people that are willing to put money into it. And my big thing, as you probably know, Steve, is schools. Our schools are falling down around our ears. There's about 131,000 pre-K to 12 schools in the United States. 52% of them have failing HVAC systems. So imagine this. I asked this question when I talked to school boards. How many people here would go to an office that didn't have air conditioning? And of course, no one raises their hand, but we're definitely putting our kids into schools that we wouldn't go to work in. And
Right.
kid spends 15,000 hours from the time he starts kindergarten to the time he graduates in a school. It's only second to what they do in what the time they spend at home. So we've got to do something better. What you just described in Prince George's County is exactly how we have to start. Let's use the energy we already own. Here's the other thing. Everybody's worried about the grid stability. For every for every installed ton of capacity, we reduce peak load by 1 kW. So imagine a high school where we can put 450 tons in. We reduce that peak load by 450 kW. That's a lot. So, it's stuff like this. It's what you're doing, bringing out there. It's what I'm doing, speaking around all around the country. But we've got to get more people trained. We've got to put more people to work. This is
Exactly. And when you think about it, the schools by going geothermal, we got to do something to offset what our other brothers in data centers are doing, where they're just gobbling up all the freaking energy to where we're getting brownouts even in residential houses. We got to do something because the grid can't take it. One, two, the utilities themselves don't have the capacity to keep rocking these, huge data centers. And we won't get into the Bitcoin, mining
yeah,
stuff in the data
yeah,
center.
yeah. Well, the interesting part about this is we do have a solution to this. It could either be direct use geothermal, using geothermal heat pumps in like with lake loops or pond loops. We know how to listen. We just sent people around the earth in a ship. I think we can figure this out if we put our minds to it.
Oh,
You know,
absolutely. Absolutely.
Data
So,
centers are not going to go away.
no, they're only going to get bigger.
That's right. That's right.
Hey, speaking of switching gears and our utility brothers and doing some education and training and getting, you and your buddies down to Miami to come up and talk on tax credits and how to utilize those through the utilities for geothermal and the renewable geothermal. We got a great meeting coming up called the UESC Back to the Future Forum in Panama City Beach on August 12th. That I've already done. You're twisting my arm, Jack. I'm twisting yours for you to come and be one of the presenters in a panel with your buddies out of Miami to come talk to everybody how they can, use the tax credits, put this stuff in on the military bases, the government facilities, commercial, because we're inviting state, local government as well as federal to this meeting on, August 12th there in Panama City Beach. That I just twisted your arm, so I know you're going to say yes, because if not, I can find you, okay?
That's right. Yeah, I'm planning on being there, and I'm twisting Walker Blues arm to see whether they can come there. I might even hit up Upstream, who are the third party leasing company that are taking off. I mean, Dandelion and Upstream are doing linear, are doing big developments, which is what we need. Let's not put let's give new homeowners the best way to heat and cool their buildings and not have the expense that you would normally have if you were to just do this on your own. So I think getting the word out, such as like in that with this conference, I think they just have to know the problem we have with our industry is that we're either underground or inside. So unlike a solar panel or a wind turbine, if you have it in your home or your office or your school, nobody even knows it because it doesn't block the view. It doesn't impact any environment. It's there doing its job 24/7, 365 days a year. So yeah, you twisted my arm enough that I'll be there, Steve.
Well, that's
And
great because, like I said, we've got several of the military bases coming. They're in Florida, coming across from Alabama. We got VA, GSA, the Army Corps of Engineers. Even some people have reached out from us from up here in DC area, the Pentagon area, to come on down to Florida with all of us. So it should be a great day. We're going to do it. We're going to kick it off like you said, we're going to kick off with a little networking, little charity golf tournament on that Tuesday before it on the 11th, and then do a networking get together on the beach with a bonfire and adult beverages and light food. You can the old days of when you're a kid doing s'mores. Okay, us
There you
adults
go.
have fun because you and I said, we're as old as we are, we can still remember how it was when we were kids, when it used to be fun going to school, right? The first couple of years of going to school, it was comfortable going to school. And then they put us in those hard wooden chairs to sit in, desk, cramping your arm trying to write if you're left-handed, right-handed, whatever. So who said learning can't be fun? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to put fun into the learning part of it on August 12th down there in Panama City Beach.
Well, the interesting part about that Steve, is the fact that when we went to school, you could open windows.
Oh,
You know,
yeah,
you
you're
can't
right.
fresh air. You can't do that now.
Yeah, that's
You
right.
can't do
Yeah.
that now. So, and I'll tell you what, the fact is that people want to know about this, but they just don't know how. Having venues like the golf outing, like like the conference, like your show down in Florida, that's what gets this word out. Because we're so inundated with emails and social media that you still have to get one on one. I think people learn better when they're talking face to face. There's nothing wrong with social media, but I think we have to get in front of them and show them exactly what they're missing.
Oh, because the whole deal is that nothing can replace that one-on-one relationship, building relationships, and you can see because you can send an email with the exact same words that can mean that it's a jocularity kind of deal, or it could be mean, and they use the same words, but you don't know how the person means to send it to you,
That's right.
and
Yep.
and it could freak you out because you're like, oh shit, am I in trouble? Did I mess up? Did I?
Yeah.
What did I do? Let me call and see if I can figure out what's going on before I call the person back, right? So, it's relationship selling. Everything we do in our industry of energy conservation is talking to people, educating them, and you got to do that through a relationship. You can't do it just through social media because, like you say, we're bombarded with so much now that we get to the point where we don't trust it. We think it's a scam, even if it could
Right.
be totally true.
Right. And I'll tell you, I think that people generally want to know about what's this new 40-year-old technology does. What's interesting is, like I said, we had about 425 people. A third of them were brand new, and of that, the people brand new, all of them were young. They were young and they were excited, and this is why when we have venues like the one down in Florida that we're talking about, that's what brings them out and keeps them excited. Talking to veterans
Those
like
people like us.
you and I, they get excited about this, and the excitement breeds, just able enables us to expand on this whole technology. But the other thing is, we're creating energy independence. I'm talking about with geothermal, talking energy independence. We're talking environmental stability. We're talking economic prosperity because we're going to create jobs. And 90% of the jobs in our industry are blue collar, are trades. So we're going to put people back to work. You know, we've got a lot of work to do. We've only got about 2% of the market. I want to get to at least 5%. If we went to 30%, we'd have to create 5 million jobs. And the
Wow.
only way we're going to do that is to get in front of people. You
Right.
know, next year we're going to have training. There's new training coming out of IGPA where we can take people that are, say, in a different trade, and that they like to work with their hands. We can put them to work in this industry. And once again, getting the word
Well,
out through
that's how we got.
conferences is the way
Remember
to
how we
do it.
got started? Yeah. Remember how we got started? We took well
Yep.
drillers, people that were drilling water wells, and got them to start drilling the wells to put the geothermal in. It's crossover
It's
technology, but it takes the training and teaching people.
and it allows people to make a decent living. Okay, whether you're an installer, a driller, a designer, if we only have 2% of the market, that leaves a lot of buildings to retrofit. That leaves a lot of work for new developments for schools. There, like I said, there's 131,000 schools in the United States. 50% of them have failing HVAC systems. That alone is a massive market for trades, for companies. And once again, if we don't get the word out, if people don't learn about this through what you're doing or what I do, it's going to stay underground. We're bringing this. I notice you have a golf course in back.
Yeah.
That's no surprise with you having a golf course in the back of you. But the fact is that with this type of with the stuff that you're doing, not only bringing it out, supporting the conferences, but also supporting the children's hospitals, supporting all those venues that you do these golf tournaments for. That's special. It really is. And I got to congratulate you because it was your idea to have the golf outing at the conference. I only agreed to it because by the way, I told everybody it was my idea, but
It is your idea. You came to
we
me.
both know who it was. Yeah.
Jack, to be honest with you, you came to me. We're sitting in Vegas. Of course, everything goes on in Vegas, right?
Yeah,
But it was the ASCO meeting in Vegas, and you said, "Hey, Stevie, we got this conference going on. What do you think about doing one of your golf tournaments to kick it off?" And I said, "You got it, not a problem." Because, like I said, it's a way to get people out there, a way to have fun, to raise money to help the kids, right, with special needs, whether it's teaching them how to work with their handicap, go to work, like, or people that have cancer and trying to get research on that part of it. It's a way just that people can go donate and have fun, that they don't have to donate millions of dollars to some
right.
organization
Right.
that money just gets gobbled up,
And I was really glad to see that you're working with PBJ down in Florida. They're good friends of both of ours. We've
Yeah.
known Brian, Patty, and Jake for a long time. And I'll tell you what, the work that you're doing with them is outstanding. And I've got to congratulate you because we've been doing this a long time, and man, you've just kept going and going and going with what you started years and years ago, and it really has transformed a lot, into where you're at now, where you can really help people and help. And I'm going to tell you, it helps the conference also because it gets people to come in early to get their mindset away from work to where they can really enjoy the rest of the week, which is exactly what my members told me that it'll
Yeah.
probably be bigger next year rather, because we have more time. And I've already talked to Jeff Hammond, the executive director, about how we can better promote it next year. And it'll be better. It should be better weather. It's September.
Really, absolutely. Well, it's great because two of the guys from the conference played, on my team, right, with me and Mike Estes, and they had a ball. They didn't know how to take it till about the third hole of how crazy it can be and have fun. And then, of course, another guy was from Cincinnati, and I put him to play with Mike Bankson, that played for the Cincinnati Bengals as a linebacker, right? So he had a great all day talking.
Oh yeah, he
Bengals
told me.
football
Yeah,
stuff. I mean, he was like in heaven. Okay, he didn't care if he shanked the ball, hooked the ball, knocked it in the
right.
pond. He was like with his best buddy that played football for his pro team, the Cincinnati Bengals. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that guy actually works for Upstream Leasing, the people that are owning Ground Loops now.
Oh
He was
wow,
the one that,
I didn't know
yeah,
that.
he works for Upstream. So, yeah, so like I said, what I thought was great is the fact that people come in already uh, up because they've already had a good time on Monday.
Oh
It
yeah,
started Tuesday.
and then when you get back to Patty and Brian, yeah, you and I both have known them for like 40 freaking
When they were
years.
kids, when they were
Yeah, when
kids,
they were
yeah,
kids, they were like mere little pups, right? But the deal is that Patty and Brian's more like Stevie, like let's just go do this and we'll figure out how to make it work. Patty's the one that's behind the scenes going, okay, guys, now
yeah,
logistic wise,
yeah,
you need to do A, then do B, then do C before you get to D. And I need this information and holds our feet to the fire to make sure we get stuff done. So when we're doing this conference, the Utility Energy Savings Contract, forum, that she's right there behind the scenes going, okay, if we're going to do the website, I need this stuff. Okay. If we're going to do the agenda, I need this, and she doesn't let you go. It's like, okay, I'm going to be here and, keep nagging you till you get me the information I need. So everybody needs a Patty. That's all I got.
Well, they came out of the Al Thuman school of conferences. So Patty and Brian, I think, started when he was 15 with his father. But Al Thuman was a legend in conferences. He's the one who started a Association of Energy Engineers. He's the one who made it happen. He's the one who got all the designations that we now see as fact. The CEMs, the CEGs, the CGDs. I mean, that's why this can't not succeed because of the background that all the people, yourself included, have with this venue. So I'm excited about it. It sounds
Jack.
cool.
I really do.
It really does sound cool. And like I said, I'm twisting Walker Blues arm to see whether they can get over there and maybe even reach out to Upstream to see whether they want to come. So yeah, let's see.
And another good thing is we're in Panama City Beach. Okay, so when the energy conferences originally started way back in '97, 98, the forefathers that started that whole deal said, let's go to a small market so there will be a big fish in a small market. So that's why we're going to Panama City Beach rather than Orlando or some of the other cities that people wanted us to go to, because the chamber, Shannon Richmond, that's head of marketing and membership of Panama City Beach's chamber, has already got the chamber coming out to participate with us, rolling up the carpet. The hotel's giving us all the rooms at the hotel, the Panama, the Hampton Inn and Suites on beachfront. Okay, all the rooms. We got 50 hell. We could have the whole entire hotel if we wanted, but right now the rooms overlook the Gulf of America, so to speak. You know what I mean?
That's
you look out the back, you see the freaking Gulf, okay, and the beach. What's better? What's better than going down there and being to where you walk 100, maybe 50 yards and you're on the beach?
Absolutely. And I did find out yesterday that I can fly direct from Philly into Panama City. So.
Oh, you dog, man. I got to go through Nashville.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I may have some other people I'll talk to you about that might want to come to this. So what I'll do is I'll promote it on my end, because I think this is the kind of stuff we have to do to get this word out to the utilities, to the ESCOs, to the communities that this technology is really going to be worthwhile to, whether it might even be builders or once again, I saw George Sakalaris the other day. He ran a marathon, which is incredible. The fact that he and I are the same age and he's running a marathon. So
no, that's too much like work, Jack. I ain't doing that. Okay?
Yeah, honest to God, that's why they make cars. I'll get in the car. But I think we owe it to the folks of us that have been around so long. We owe it to the upcoming generations to let them know what we've done and how to do it, because none of this is brain surgery. It just hasn't been followed before. And like I said, one of the good things about what you're doing with the conferences and actually with the golf outings is showcasing all this stuff. So it allows people to not only look at it like, oh God, I got to go to another damn conference. It's like, okay, I'm going to start this off. We're going to have fun, and then we're going to learn, and we're going to come away better than we did when we went in for. So congrats on this. It was great. Like I said, I heard nothing but great things from the people that participated. Next year we'll make it even bigger because we got more time. So
yeah, you gotta start somewhere, Jack. I said you gotta draw the line in the sand. You gotta start somewhere and build on it. You can't. It's not like we went to the moon right from the start, right? We had to go send rockets up there, do different things to get to the moon. Okay, same thing with the golf tournament. You got to start somewhere. And then the word gets out that everybody says, hey, man, I had a blast. It only cost me, a little bit of money. Plus part of the money goes to help kids with special needs. So, you got to, that's how it is. You got to start to build the base. Same thing with geothermal, right? You got the base, you're putting the pipes under the ground. It's going to take care of your house, heating, cooling. You don't have to have any service guys come out because the pipes are underground. You don't do nothing with it, you know?
Right. You change filters. That's about it.
Yeah.
And it's funny you have that golf scene in the back because that whole green could be your loop field. You know, and that's good and that's bad because nobody knows it's there. You know.
Oh, okay. I got one for you. I got a trivia question for you. What is one of the major golf tournaments, golf courses that has geothermal heat pump equipment keeping the greens cool during the hot
You know,
summer?
I did know that at one point. I probably forgot it. I know you
Well, I
know
can
it.
give you the state as a hint. How about Georgia?
Really, the Masters?
The Masters.
Oh, you're kidding.
No,
Listen,
hole 13. Hole 13,
Wow.
that par five, man, it's got Climate Master equipment heating and cooling that green to keep it to where it stays to where the grass and everything.
Well, that's cool. You know,
Yeah.
listen, I don't think we've come really, you know, exhausted how we can use this. You know,
Hey, we
I'm
put
talking to a couple of people. You know, they're going to put an expansion team, I think, for basketball NBA down in Vegas. You know,
Yeah,
over in
speaking of that,
Vegas.
I'm glad you brought that up. So guess you know that we're doing a charity golf tournament on July 11th in Vegas, the start of the summer NBA Summer League and the announcement of the NBA basketball team being expansion in Vegas. So we're
Well, you
doing a
know,
charity golf tournament in Vegas on July 11th, that Saturday, and probably get everybody to go to the casino the night before, try to win some money, but do a little network and then play a little golf on that Saturday morning early before it gets really hot.
my stepson coached the Cleveland Cavaliers and the New Orleans Pelicans. He
No, I
now
didn't know
coaches. Yeah, he looks just like me, 6'10" with blonde hair. So,
that.
you know,
Okay.
he now coaches Iona College, but some of his best friends are LeBron James, Tristan Thompson. You
Yeah.
know, so I mean this is going to be big time with Vegas getting a team. Uh, but once again, I want to put Geo in that arena. I want
Let's do
Geo
it.
to do in that to be in
Let's
that
do it.
arena. But yeah, so that's cool. I might even tell my stepson Dan about that golf tournament.
Yeah, come on out because, like I said, we're going to play it early in the morning to be done by noon. So everything will be a blast. And like I said, we're going to raise money for special needs for kids that have cerebral palsy for that tournament. And then a little bit to Children's Hospital in Vegas as well.
What is there a conference right after that or no?
No, but I'm going to probably do a training workshop on that Friday morning.
Oh, good,
Do a little,
good, cool.
do a half day training that I do with different companies. Probably get you to come on out and do a little geothermal presentation, part of it.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I'll tell you, I think that this has never been bigger than what it is now. This technology, geothermal technology, but once again, we have to continually market it. And once again, I have to thank you because to start off our conference with that golf tournament and have 20, 25, 30 people come in and just beaming the fact that they had such a great time. You know, that it really starts off the conference really well. Next year will be even bigger. Um, I wish I could play golf, but I have artificial shoulders that didn't allow me to do that.
Hey,
So
hey, Jack, you can come out and putt. You can come out and talk trash and give everybody shit to donate more money. Come on, brother. Hey,
I probably could do that.
there's
Yeah.
stuff. There's some stuff that you can do. You don't need to play golf to have fun out there. So, hey, Jack, I really appreciate you coming on. I look forward for us getting together before August to work on that event and maybe get you out to Vegas in July or June even, because I'm doing a training class out there around June 4th about Edison Electric Institute's annual energy conference.
Yeah.
Their annual conference
Yep,
is out
yep.
there in June. So we're going to do a little what we call fed bed training with DOE, the VA, the Paiute Indian tribe, as well as the Air Force base out there. So, and Southwest Gas is a good partner of ours, always coming out willing to participate and help and put it on and play a little golf with everybody. So I'll send you the information about June
Yeah.
and EEI
I'll
about being
tell you
in
what, EEI is, I'm trying to get back into EEI. If you remember it, when I was director of GHPC, we had our offices in EEI. But I want to
Yeah.
get back into EEI because I want investor-owned utilities to be aware of this. You know, all the guys that we work with are all retired. I guess we're the only two that haven't retired yet.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
really. So, yeah, I'll send you Steve Keesler's contact
yeah,
information.
I know Steve real well. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and and by the way, we've got a lot of gas companies now are interested in this because it'll double their capacity. In other words, they can sell heating and cooling. So if Southwest Gas is in there, I think that's what you said.
Yeah,
This could be an opportunity for them also
you got it.
to
So
double their capacity. So yeah, send me. I think I have Steve's number, but let's you and I talk about that because
you got it. Hey,
that's
Jack, thanks for
cool.
coming on and taking time out of your schedule. I know I can see your phone buzzing there and hearing it, so I know that you got a lot of calls to make like I do. Hey, and anything you can do to help get people to come on down to the UESC Back to the Future Forum in August in Panama City Beach, I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Okay, Steve. And once again, thanks for St. Louis. That was great, and I'll look forward to next year.
Hey, you and I'll be working together from a bunch of times now, brother. I
Good.
got
Good.
your number and you got mine, so
That's
so
right.
I know we're connected now.
That's right.